You're listening to the Drinks in a Movie podcast.
Diamonds are forever.
Hosted by Rudy Ruiz.
All I need to please me.
Spoiler alert.
They can stimulate and tease me. They won't leave in the night. I've no fear that they might desert me. Diamonds are forever. Hold one up and then caress it. Touch it, stroke it and undress it.
Hello everyone, welcome to Drinks and Movie Podcast. We are continuing the 007 series. This time we're going to be talking about Diamonds Are Forever from 1971, which will see Sean Connery returning to play the role of James Bond. So for this episode, we're going to continue trying out the some of the Buffalo Trace mash bill number 2. We're going to do the Elmer T. Lee single barrel. This one is coming in at 90 proof. Again, this is Buffalo Trace's nice one. Buffalo Trace's high rye mash bill. There we go, just a little taster. So this is named after one of the former master distillers of Buffalo Trace, and I guess kind of one of the original ambassadors. He retired in 1985, but he is probably most notable for, he's credited as creating the first like whiskey or bourbon single barrel product, which was Blanton's, and that was named after Colonel, I think it was Albert Blanton, who actually was the one who hired Elmer T. Lee when he was younger and, mentored him and all that. So he started the whole single barrel idea, called it Blanton's. Obviously that blew up, and he's got his own bottle here, Elmer T. Lee. So let's go ahead and dig in. Oh, the nose is nice. It's very soft, definitely caramel forward. Yeah, it's not about, I can't really pick too much else out of it. Sorry, I'm losing it. Maybe a little bit of a citrus note, like a little orange, like a bright kind of orange when they, do the twist for an old fashioned and those oils come out, a little bit of that. Yeah, otherwise, let's go in for the taste. Cheers. Wow, so this one, quite a bit spicier than its predecessor, which was that Hancock's President's Reserve, whereas that one was light on the front of the palate and really lent itself into that nice, like kind of caramel popcorn sweetness. This is a lot brighter and spicier for sure. You get that rye, some like allspice, I want to say. Not so much, at least right now, of that sweet note. Maybe some nutmeg. Like I feel like I still get a little bit of that citrusy kind of vibe. And nutmeg makes me think of that. But yeah, this is a very spice forward, a little more bitey expression. So it is quite a bit different from the Hancock. This one has never quite been my favorite. And even now, like it's very, very popular. A lot of people seek this one out. They can be hard to come by, again, especially at the correct price. But yeah, for me, it's never quite been mine. Funny enough, I think I would take the Hancocks over this, even though I typically like, some spicy notes. I like that it pops a little bit more, but I don't know. Right now, the flavors in the Hancocks were just a little more, I don't know, just better for me tonight anyway. So yeah, that's Elmer T. Lee coming out of Buffalo Trace. So let's talk about this movie, everyone. Diamonds Are Forever.
You've been waiting for him. Asking for him. Now he's here.
Who are you?
My name is Bond. James Bond.
He's back in a new Bond spectacular.
Kill him! Welcome to hell, Blofeld.
He's back.
Good evening.
And we're back to what great movies are all about.
Hey, what the hell is this? Hey, listen, you can't do this to me. I've got friends in this town.
Outrageous, fun-making thrills.
I didn't know there was a pool down there.
He's back. The character who runs rings around his enemies in Diamonds Are Forever. And they're back. Some rare facets of female bondage.
Well, that's quite a nice little nothing you're almost wearing. I approve.
I don't dress for the hired help.
Starring Jill St. John, Charles Gray, and he's back as Blofeld, 007 style.
Good evening, 007.
From the Diamond Territory of South Africa.
Curious how everyone who touches those diamonds seems to die.
the canals of Amsterdam to the gaming halls of Las Vegas.
Hi, I'm Plenty.
But of course you are.
Plenty O'Toole.
Named after your father, perhaps?
To the rocket sites of Nevada. Sean Connery, alias James Bond 007, is back in action.
Diamonds are forever, 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 forever and ever.
This is interesting. We had George Lazenby portray Bond in the previous film, so that was his one outing. And in this one, Sean Connery was able to renegotiate his deal and get paid a lot more money, which is what he wanted. I think he needed a break. You know, they were banging these movies out. He was burned out. He didn't want to be typecast. He was taking a lot of shit from like the press. You know, they were just kind of becoming overwhelming and he wanted more money. So here he was able to have some years off and he was able to get paid more. So he's back. And this would be really the last movie. I mean, there's one more in the 80s we'll talk about when we get to that point that was not an Eon production. Never Say Never Again, where he does come back in like a whole other production. I'll save that for when we get there. But really, this is kind of the last hoorah. And I've got to say, right out the gate, he looks quite a bit older already. I mean, we're 9 years after Dr. No? And he looks like a lot older. Like just even between You Only Live Twice and this one, I'm like, man, you aged quite a bit, which is fine. I just like it stood out to me. Now, the cold open in this, I actually really enjoy. I really like the editing and the way they put it together. You know, we had that kind of rough ending of his wife, Tracy, getting killed suddenly at the end of the last movie. And I was thinking, I'm like, okay, are they going to continue the continuity? I hope they do. They've got to. And they kind of do in the beginning, like not as much as you would, I think, want and hope. They really kind of like get that out of the way real quick. But it works well enough, I'd say. So we start out, and I like how it just right out the gate, we open up in this shot of like Japan, right? So it's some kind of room in Japan. And this dude comes just like crashing through the wall and some hands come out and you don't see Bond. It's just his hands. And like the voiceover is pretty rough. Like you can tell he's like not there at all. So I don't know what the deal was with this, but the voiceover, they just didn't make it sound like it was even in the same environment. But he's like, where's Blofeld? He's beating this guy up. Where is he? Oh, Cairo. And then we just cut to like this dude at like a poker table or whatever in Cairo. And then he gets punched in the face as Bond is on this guy. Like, where is he? Where is he? Like, I really like that, how quickly this happens and we just start right in the action. And the dude says, I don't know, some other place. And then we see, of course, some like really attractive woman, like in a bikini. And now we see Sean Connery. So he's walking up, you know, towards her. They do this little flirtatious thing. And this line I thought was so funny where he takes a knee next to her and he just like tells her like, there's something you've got to get off your chest or something like that. And he undoes her bikini. And they're about to start making out. Like she's immediately just down for it for whatever reason. But he takes the bikini and he like wraps it around her neck and is like choking her, which was like, oh shit. I was like, he's not messing around. And then he just like, where's he at? Where's Blofeld? And then we, you know, cut to the next place. So I thought that was really interesting. I thought it was a cool way to open. I thought it was edited well with the exception of the voiceover. And now we see some underground base where Blofeld is now played by Charles Gray. So a whole other actor, looks completely different, but they're showing that he's been getting plastic surgery to change his looks. Like the way we really recognize him is that outfit. He wears the same kind of outfit that Telly Savalas and Donald Pleasance were wearing in the last couple movies. So Bond comes in and kills some dude and kills him. So Blofeld's done. And I'm thinking, I'm like, damn, is that it? Like we just whacked him in the very beginning of the movie. I guess that's how this goes. But you know, it turns out to be a decoy, as we'll find out.
Where is he? I shan't ask you politely next time. Where is Blofeld?
Cairo!
Guards, hit me. One chance. Where can I find him?
Marie. Ask Marie.
Who are you?
My name is Bond. James Bond.
Is there something I can do for you?
Yes, as a matter of fact, there is. There is something I'd like you to get off your chest. Where is Ernst Stavro Blofeld? Speak up, darling, I can't hear you.
We now come to phase 4, the nose. In my opinion, the most difficult part of a plastic transformation.
I want the operation done tonight.
But, senor...
There's no time left.
But, Senor Blofeld, this is a most delicate procedure. It cannot...
Tonight.
And yeah, so I really like this opening. Then we get into the opening song where it's sung by Shirley Bassey again, who did the Goldfinger song. And this is another really one that I like. Not my favorite, but I do dig it. It is pretty catchy. So we're back to having like a singer, you know, Diamonds Are Forever is a song, again, Shirley Bassey, and cool opening credit sequence as always. Now all this kind of diamond look stuff is cool. Yeah, this movie, I mean, I liked it. I feel like it becomes a little more grounded. And again, you know, take that with a grain of salt, but compared to what we saw in Thunderball and You Only Live Twice, some people might say a little more stale. But I dig it, and it's cool that in here he actually goes to Las Vegas. So we come to Vegas in this movie, another different location. It's always neat to see it, you know, in that time frame. Oh, sorry, I'm kind of shook my stuff right here. Let me pull up my notes real quick. I feel like I'm missing some stuff here. And we do get the introduction of these two. I guess they're like hitmen working for Spectre, Blofeld, whatever. Mr. Wint and Mr. Kidd, and these dudes are like really evil bastards, just kind of killing everyone. That's kind of interesting. But yeah, he goes to Vegas, and you know he's got to find. There's this whole like diamond thing. He's got to go undercover as this guy Peter Franks, who's a diamond smuggler. He meets Tiffany Case, and played by Jill St. John, who's going to be, you know, kind of the working with him throughout the movie. Another insanely beautiful woman. And going to what I said before, where in On Her Majesty's Secret Service, I felt right out the gate the fight scenes were not edited or directed very well. There's a really great elevator fight in this movie where the guy that he's posing as, the diamond smuggler, you know, escapes, and he's also going to meet that contact, the I'm already forgetting her name, Tiffany Case. And Bond, you know, finds him, they fight in the elevator. There's this funny moment, again, him being fallible, where Bond actually draws his hand back to knock the guy out, but they're in a small elevator, so his elbow, like as he pulls his arm back, like breaks the glass, so it alerts the guy. And they have this fight on the elevator, and it's really well done. And again, I think so much of it is it's not super cutty like the other movie was. They hold so much of it in these like wide shots, and they're just letting the action play out, and you're seeing them do their thing. And I prefer it covered that way quite a bit more. I think it looks a lot more convincing. So that's a good scene, and Bond kills this poor bastard. And I guess since they put Bond's ID and credentials in his pocket, Tiffany Case is like, holy shit, dude, like you killed James Bond. And of course, the real Bond is just, oh, I guess he's not indestructible after all. And all that I thought was just really funny. She's like, well, we got to do something. We can't, you know, just, you don't kill James Bond and wait for the cops to come. And they end up using this body to smuggle the diamonds out, which is interesting. And, you know, we meet Felix Leiter again from the CIA, who's played by an entirely different actor once again. And yeah, I mean, I really like this movie. I think it's a good one. Could maybe be a little bit shorter, but I love all the Vegas stuff. Sean Connery as Bond and all his little quips and one-liners is great. You know, he meets another chick named Plenty O'Toole, played by Lana Wood, who was in The Searchers. I think she was the sister of Natalie Wood. And even Sid Haig is in this movie as like one of the kind of henchmen, which is cool. I didn't know he was in a Bond movie. And there's a moment where he's going up to the room, Bond, with Plenty O'Toole. And in this one, I guess now with it crossing into the 70s and times are changing a little bit, they do lean into a little more like nudity and stuff like that. Like you can tell it's kind of those doors are opening more. They never go full out, but they definitely push it more than they have in the other movies. But there's a wild moment where the henchmen like take Plenty and they just throw her out the window. Wasn't expecting that at all. And I'm like, oh, and the camera's kind of following her and I'm thinking she's dead. But she ends up falling into a pool, and the guy's like, damn, I didn't know there's a pool down there. So that was kind of funny. But she ends up getting whacked, which is unfortunate. And I still, again, I've only seen it the one time. I didn't quite catch why. I guess she went to Tiffany Case's house, so maybe they thought it was her or she knew something, but they drowned her in like a really fucked up way. So that's a bummer. She just is in the movie like for a very short time. And yeah, I mean, you know, we don't hear much about Spectre in this one, or I think at all, but Blofeld is the villain. You know, we find out that he's been posing as this other guy, Willard White, who runs the hotel for like a few years, and he's got body doubles. So that's why he wasn't killed the first time. So that's interesting. He's got like a few people that look like him that are like his, you know, kind of body double bodyguard guys. And yeah, there's a really great car chase through downtown Vegas, which is really cool. And there's something different. Like we're getting into that point too, now being 71. And I'm not sure exactly what changed, you know, in terms of lighting and or whatever the case, but it 70 movies have a very distinct look from 50s and 60s. There's just more rawness to it. And we're starting to get a little hint of that. I mean, it still looks pretty consistent with the previous films, but what sticks out to me the most is that car chase scene. And maybe it's just the location of Old Vegas. I don't know, but the aesthetic is starting to change. I don't know how else to explain it, but I'll kind of leave it at that. Maybe you'll know what I'm talking about if you watch a lot of movies from the 70s era. I don't know, but I really like the dynamic with Tiffany Case and Bond. You know, they're pretty funny together. There's even this moment where, you know, what they need to the bad guys, they have this laser where they from space, this satellite where they can laser like different weapons in different countries and just destroy them. So he can hold countries ransom or the world ransom again, whatever. Same kind of shit. And, you know, they got to swap out this tape that has the code for the laser to work. So Bond goes through this working with, you know, Tiffany Case, who says she's on Blofeld's side, but is still working with Bond. And he switches the tapes and then gives her the bad one so that, you know, she can hide it and says something, I forget what. But then she switches them back and comes out and is talking about, oh, I did it. I switched the tapes. And he's like, God damn it, you put the wrong one in. You know, that was kind of funny. Whatever. Interesting little fight scene where Bond goes to the house of the guy they're keeping prisoner that Blofeld is pretending to be. And there's two ladies there, these two like super strength ladies that are fighting Bond. One is Bambi, one is Thumper. And so they're fighting him and they're really putting up a decent fight with this dude. He's like, I'd say they're winning. But it's so funny. So I'm thinking like, all right, how's he going to get out of this? He's got to fight them both. They both they're super strong for whatever reason. They're flipping and jumping around and doing all this shit. But then they fall into the pool and all he has to do is like hold their heads down in the water. And then that's it. Just like game over for them. So that was kind of silly. But yeah, I mean, a lot of funny moments in this movie, a lot of good quips and one-liners. I think the action's good. The finale is fine. I think it's a little silly that he picks up Blofeld's little escape boat and just swinging it into the other buildings and whatnot. I mean, whatever. But yeah, all in all, I mean, I dig this one. I would definitely watch this one again. And yeah, I mean, that's it. That's kind of my first impression on it. Now I'm excited to get into the Roger Moore era of Bond. It's going to be a trip to kind of say bye to the Sean Connery time. I mean, so far in watching this, I'm like, yeah, he's the guy. It's got to be him. So I'm looking forward to getting into the 70s and seeing how this evolves and changes with the times. And, you know, seeing Roger Moore take up the role now should be cool and fun. But yeah, so far, I think I'd say of the Connery Bond movies, I mean, really quick while we're here, I think at the end of this journey, I'll probably do an episode where I rank all of them. And then I think I want to rank all the songs too. I think that'd be like just fun little episodes to do once I'm done with all of them. But right now, I think my favorites would probably be Thunderball or Goldfinger. It's between those. And then this would be in that top 3 as well somewhere. Yeah, with Her Majesty's Secret Service probably being my least favorite so far. But yeah, everybody, again, let me know what your thoughts are on this movie. If you agree, disagree, what's your take on it? I mean, I really like it. It seems like a lot of people feel it's too stale. I'd be curious to hear your thoughts. So leave a comment. Let me know what you think. As always, rate, review, and subscribe. If you want to come on the podcast for a future Bond movie, shoot me a message and then we'll talk about getting you on so we can chat about it together. But that's a wrap on this one, everybody. I'll see you next time. Cheers.